Good morning.
Good morning.
I love this day, don't you? And I'll tell you, I probably could just stand outside in the foyer before the program begins and just visit all morning long. How about you? And then a great part of the way to start this day off is the opportunity to socialize and the fellowship with so many wonderful people here in FCPS. So I wish you good morning. I welcome you to our annual Summer Leadership Conference and certainly welcome you to the 2015-2016 school year. It was a very fast summer, wasn't it? It went by with a flash. I want to thank you all for being here today. I also want to thank the members of our FCPS school board. I want to acknowledge the leadership of our immediate past chair, Tammy Fairfax, and Vice Chair Ted Belkoff, who are sitting here with us this morning. I want to thank you for your leadership and your unwavering support for our schools. It was really an honor to have the opportunity to work very closely with you, so thank you for your service. I also want to congratulate Pat Hines as our new chair. I think it was obvious today how nice it is to have an educator on our board who understands that passion and really cares deeply about teachers in the classroom and that experience. And Sandy Evans, our new vice chair. I look so forward to working with you all as we continue to strive to take care of our great schools. So thank you. Again, thank you to all the members of our wonderful school board for your dedication and commitment to FCPS schools and to the children of this wonderful county. I also want to thank our special guests who joined us this morning. They've all been introduced and I won't introduce them again. But you may have noticed these individuals when they were announced and introduced. They're here every year, aren't they? And in so many places where we have the opportunity to do really unique and innovative and exciting things, they're there with us. So they've long been wonderful and very strong supporters of our schools. And I will tell you, I was touched with the announcement today of the impact grants. Thank you, Apple Federal Credit Union and the Foundation. It really signals what a great and wonderful partner and impactful partner you are to the work that we're doing. You know, our focus today is about the coming school year, and I'm really excited about this coming school year. I think there's much to be excited about, and we're going to talk about some of that. I believe that's exciting, that we can all be excited about. But before we do that, I would like to spend just a few minutes reflecting upon this past school year. This past year was a success. It was tough, wasn't it? We all had to dig in real deep. One of the major changes that we made last year was full-day Mondays in all of our elementary schools. And I was with the Elementary Principal Association yesterday, and we were talking about what a challenge that was, because we gave them a very short window of time to make that important change. It should be noted that although this was a very significant change, this group did a great job of implementing it. So I will tell you, I think that the elementary principals and their entire team should be commended for the great work that they did. Last year, despite that significant change, we had one of the smoothest starts we've ever had. So congratulations to our elementary principals. If I could have the lights brought up just a little bit more so I can see you. I like to see you. Where's Jeff Plattenberg? There he is, right front and center. He knows where he's supposed to sit, right front and center, right behind him. But the change to the elementary, see, y'all know there's more truth to that than we love you, Jeff. But we know too that the change in the elementary calendar and schedule also prevented us from having to make up snow days last year. I think we were the only school system in this area that didn't have to make up days. But I want the record to reflect that Jeff and I have already talked about next year, and he said we're not going to have any problems with snow next year. Right, none. Every year, Mr. Moon, people tell me, we really don't have that much snow here. Every year. I'm very pleased to report that we also experienced gains in student achievement this past year. And I'm going to show you some data that even our school board hasn't seen yet. So y'all brace yourselves. You're going to see some good stuff. All of our Project Momentum schools, formerly known as PSI schools, all of them, each and every one of them, improved. Every one of them. And this year we expect to have many fewer schools rated and accredited with warning. And in the very near future, we're going to have 0. I know it. Now I'm going to show you the preliminary results, but I've been told by the team that I have to have, I have to tell you, I'm obligated to tell you that the official results will not be available until September the 15th. Okay, so these are not official. So let me show you the improvement of all of our PSI, Project Momentum schools, starting with their combined improvements in students passing the state test in reading and mathematics. Looks pretty good, doesn't it? Now for their improvement in all subject areas. That's impressive, come on. Congratulate all of the schools involved, and I also congratulate everyone at Central Office who provided the support for the improvement efforts. And I think this is just the start. There's a very intentional, well-designed plan to take it to the next level next year. So, and I know for our principals and their teams in the schools that are in our Project Momentum, our PSI schools, the pressure's really on, isn't it? You feel like you're under a microscope. So this is the time for you to celebrate with your team, with your faculty staff. Pat yourself on the back, okay? You deserve it. As for overall division performance, like our Project Momentum schools, we're also seeing an increase in student performance and a reduction in the achievement gaps. Let me show you all 2 very familiar charts. These line graphs we've seen time and time again, but they've been updated to reflect our 2015 results. Let me first show you the chart for reading. And notice that the lines are going the right direction, aren't they? Now for the chart for mathematics. Again, the lines are going up. It's not the scissors. You've ever heard of the scissor lines? I will tell you, I'm very impressed with these trend lines because it's going the right direction. But it's also interesting to note when you see the data a little closer that not only is the gap closing, it's closing with all groups going up. It's easier when the high performing groups stay the same, right? But all of them are going up. We continue to have lots of work to do, no doubt. But it's important today to acknowledge and celebrate this hard work. So congratulations to each and every one of you. Thank you. Now, members of the board, I will tell you, I did hesitate a little bit in sharing data because we strongly believe that high-stakes tests should not be the driver that it currently is today in our public schools. These types of tests should be minimized to allow room for more authentic and meaningful assessment. But it is our current reality, and it is important that we acknowledge your hard work in responding to the needs of our children. With the reauthorization of ESEA, which I know many of you are following, I am hopeful, I know we are all hopeful, that our state and our nation will be less focused on the sorting and ranking of children in schools. Instead, our focus must be on the way to design learning and to create schools that bring out the best in every child. I want to thank you for your focus on improving results for all children, and I congratulate you most definitely on a very successful 2014 and 15 school year. Now we're going to talk a little bit about belief. This is a strong word. Belief is something that goes well beyond hope, beyond dreams, beyond this moment. Belief is something at your core, an unshakable mainstay that guides your life. So what do you believe? You've heard me say I believe in the power and promise of public schools. I believe in the ability for every child to learn and to become a contributing and positive member of our very global society. This is at the core of our Report to a Graduate, a work that we're all very, very proud of. And I believe in the power of a great teacher. The power of a great teacher is limitless. It transcends boundaries, language, race, gender, age. More importantly, it transcends the unseen boundaries. Those internal struggles within the student that may have previously inhibited success. The power of a great teacher is in the ability to reach every child, to nurture, inspire, and encourage, essentially to ignite a passion for learning. We are very blessed in FCPS to have thousands of teachers with this power. Teachers like our 2015 Teacher of the Year, Kimberly Scott. And I think Kimberly Scott's somewhere in the room. Where's Kimberly? There she is. I've had an opportunity to spend some time with Kimberly, and she's truly exceptional. Kimberly is an English teacher at Franklin Middle School, and I know she is a very proud principal who's in the room, Sharon Eisenberg. I don't know where Sharon is, but I know she's very proud as well. Right back there. Kimberly's classroom is described as a vibrant learning laboratory, where every facet of best practice and purposeful planning provide each student every opportunity to grow academically and socially and emotionally. This describes a truly powerful teacher. Kimberly, you're a powerful teacher. But this power lies not just with Kimberly, but exists with everyone in this room. Together, we have the ability to unleash this power. It all starts with a spark.
Strategic plan ready for liftoff.
Roger. 3, 2, 1.
Ignite.
In Fairfax County Public Schools, we are about making a difference in the lives of our students, in our families, our employees, and the community we serve. We want to create value. We strive to make a positive difference for each and every one of our students and for our overall community. Ignite, I like that term because it means set in motion, to spark passion. Together, we created Ignite, a 5-year strategic plan to ensure that our students receive the best possible education, preparing them for success today, into the future, preparing them for a successful and productive life. For the past year, we've worked together to build the vision for FCPS, to develop the goals that will guide us for the next 5 years. This strategy is not my strategy, this is our strategy. This plan is a reflection of the thoughts, dialogue, and inputs of thousands of our employees, community members, and our school board. Daniel Pink, in his book Focus, speaks to the importance of strategic planning. He states that in the absence of planning, future focus becomes a luxury, waiting for our current needs to be taken care of first. Our plan is audacious. Strategic plans should be, though, shouldn't they? They should be designed to stretch us, to challenge us to be our very best. It is also a reflection of how the system intends to focus its time and energy. I'm excited too, because for the first time, I think maybe ever, or for the first time in a long time, we have committed our priorities to writing. So everyone knows what we're planning to do. I know some of you have seen the plan and you probably thought immediately, oh my goodness, we're going to do all that. But we're not going to do all that at one time. It won't all happen at once. This is a 5-year plan with the opportunity annually to adjust the plan to account for changing conditions. The plan is comprised of 4 major goals: student success, caring culture, premier workforce, and resource stewardship. The first goal is the foundation of the overall plan, for it represents the core of our mission, the academic success of every student. Let's take a look at this important goal area, student success.
That is why we do what we do, is we want our kids to grow up to be successful human beings in the world beyond our walls of our buildings. So I think it's got to be at the forefront of what we do each and every day.
Some of you may know that character. That is Eric McCann, our principal at Frost Middle School, and I'm very proud to know that he was our first year principal of the year. Where's Eric? Our student success goal demonstrates our collective commitment to reach, challenge, and prepare every student for success in school and in life. This goal area includes very important work, such as plans for continued work to reduce the gaps in achievement, to align our grading policies, and to improve access for young children to quality early childhood experiences and programming. In Robert Putnam's new book called Our Kids, he refers to a study that was done on the achievement gaps, an important issue that continues to plague our nation. This study references what we already know, and that is the importance of quality early childhood programming. The research is very clear that the achievement gap will often persist through high school and into college. That achievement gap is evident at age 6. So if we know this, in Fairfax County, we have to be serious about, if we're serious about closing the achievement gap, we must also be serious about providing all children with access to quality preschool experience. This goal also reflects our commitment to continuous improvement and innovation. Represented in this goal is our desire to develop a plan for providing every student in our system their own laptop. We know that the technological age is here to stay. It's not going anywhere, is it? Access to technology has now become an essential tool for learning, and one that has the potential to transform the overall teaching and learning process. It's not just about the laptop, it's about how we transform teaching and learning. We are committed to finding a way to accomplish this important goal. We are putting together now a task force of forward-thinking leaders. Some of you in this room may be interested in helping us with this important work. We will be developing our plan for getting this done. There also will be exciting opportunities for schools to provide leadership in helping us pilot and develop other important work, such as project-based, and problem-based learning with new and authentic assessment tools, capstone projects at critical passage points like our 5th grade Global Awareness Technology project that we're very proud of, and the Apple Foundation, the impact grants will be so helpful in helping us move this work forward, so thank you, we're very grateful. And this year, we will also be focusing our learning. This year, we'll be focusing as the leadership team on improving our understanding of literacy. Strong literacy skills we know are essential foundation skills to all learning. So the focus of our all-county principals meetings this year, every one of them, will be about literacy. And we will follow up with opportunities for our assistant principals and our teacher leaders to also have these same opportunities to learn with us. I'm excited about that. I look forward to learning with you all. The academic success of students is so important. So too are the social emotional needs of our children. We also know that organizational culture, school culture, is so important for conducive learning environments. Many of you heard Bill Daggett say that culture will always trump strategy. That's how important organizational culture is. Our next goal focuses on establishing a caring culture.
Listening to one another is very critical, and it's instrumental to our success. Being able to hear what each person has to say really allows us to get a more global perspective and really allows us to take that feedback from all of our stakeholders and apply that to making our schools the very best they can be.
Thank you, Liz. Liz is our wonderful principal at Fairfax Elementary School. Our second goal is around caring culture and is our commitment to foster a responsive, caring, and inclusive culture where all feel valued, supported, and hopeful. Within this section of the plan, you will note that we intend to redesign our website. How many of you been on our website lately? We have over 21 million hits to our website every year. 21 million. This will continue to be a primary resource for our community to learn about FCPS, so we need to make it more user-friendly, and that work is underway right now. We serve children and students, families from every country in the world. I've often described Fairfax County Public Schools as the United Nations of public schools. Every country in the world is represented in our school system in over 200 different languages. As part of our goal to provide a caring culture, we will also be expanding our cultural competency training to provide this professional development opportunity for all of our employees. We have a number of schools in this room who have already piloted this training for us, so we thank them for helping us develop this training series. It is important that we understand and appreciate the varied cultures and perspectives that our wonderful families bring to our school communities. Our third goal is premier workforce. We recognize that hiring and retaining the best employees throughout this organization is critical to our continued success, which, again, is the focus of our next strategic goal area.
Because Fairfax is such a diverse school system, and our goal is to meet the needs of all students, it is critically important that we hire, select, and retain the very best staff, the most talented individuals in all areas of our school system. Individuals who understand the importance of relationship building, individuals who understand social and mental health concerns, and leaders who understand how to lead not just schools, but entire school communities.
William Bates, where are you, William? He's around here somewhere. There he is. Thank you, William. William is the principal of Herndon High School, and he is our 2015 Principal of the Year. We're very proud of him. And we've heard a lot from you about this particular goal area. We've listened to you and what your needs are. Some of you have completed the hiring process, some of you are still looking for staff to get ready for this school year. You all know how important it is to hire the best people. Our premier workforce goal represents our commitment to invest in our employees, encourage innovation, and celebrate success. This goal area includes strategies such as differentiate compensation and provide incentives for hard-to-staff schools and hard-to-fill content areas. Is that needed? Absolutely. Establish a clearinghouse to identify and share outstanding practice right here within FCPS. We have great things going on in every school throughout our system. So this provides an opportunity that we can better take advantage of the talent and the success that exists within our own organization. We're initiating a compensation study that will result in new, competitive, and fair compensation models. This study is beginning now, and we're very anxious to get those results. As a people-intensive enterprise, there is nothing more important that we do than hire great people. The old adage, I think, is very true. Hire the best and invest in their success. You heard that before? It rings true, doesn't it? Speaking of outstanding employees, let me now introduce you to the remaining individuals who complete the cadre of 2015 Employees of the Year, for they are exemplars of the thousands of people who comprise the FCPS family and who make FCPS great. If you would, hold your applause until all of them have been introduced. Please stand as I call your name if you'll remain standing as I introduce you. Of course, introduced earlier was Kimberly Scott, our Teacher of the Year. Eric McMahon, First Year Principal of the Year. William Bates, Principal of the Year. Now I'd like to add to this cadre Gordon Jenkins. He's the recipient of the FCPS Leadership Award. Gordon is the coordinator of the Technology Support Service Center. Jerry Lynn is the recipient of the FCPS School-Based Support Employee of the Year. Jerry is an instructional assistant at Marshall High School. Brady Roach, recipient of the FCPS Non-School-Based Support Employee of the Year, and Brady is the coordinator of capital projects in the FCPS Office of Design and Construction. Lee Daugherty, who's a recipient of the FCPS Outstanding First Year Teacher. Lee is a speech and drama teacher at Mount Vernon High School. And finally, Ruth Azimi, recipient of the FCPS Hourly Employee of the Year, and Ruth is a parent liaison at Robinson Secondary School and Bonnie Bray Elementary School. Please join me in congratulating these outstanding. Needs of our schools and how we demonstrate responsibility for these important resources, resource stewardship.
And we want our taxpayers to see that, to know that they live in a place where the school system is a great school system, so that even if they don't have children in the school system, that they know that their homes are in a place where people value education, and also that their home is worth more as a result of it.
That's true, isn't it? Where's Maria Eck? Maria Eck is our principal at Poe Middle School, and I noticed Maria had a picture. Where's Maria? Way up there. Hey! I saw your picture on the internet. Twin day. The mustache was a nice touch. Now everybody's going to be looking for that picture, Maria. Our resource stewardship goal represents a commitment to champion the needs of our school communities and be responsible stewards of the public's investment. This is an important goal, for we are unable to achieve our core mission of student learning without the resources to support the work. Some of the major strategies included in the plan are to develop a return on investment framework so that we can demonstrate to our community the impacts of their important investments in our young people and in our schools. New dashboards that integrate key information for our employees that are job specific. What are the key data points that you need at your fingertips to support your daily work? How can we provide that access with great ease for you? New systems for identifying innovative practices for the purposes of taking them to scale. Resource stewardship is about our commitment to champion for the needs of our school communities and be responsible stewards of the public's trust. Yes, we do have our budget woes, and as we were visiting outside this morning, I got to meet and visit a little bit with our math team, and they did volunteer to have a bake sale for us. But it was quickly noted that they only could sell pies. I thought it was kind of clever. Right? That was kind of clever. But seriously, our financial challenges, despite what you might read in the paper, or despite what you might hear on the news, our financial challenges are very real. We all know that. I wish it were only rhetoric. If you read the Washington Post today, it was implied that it was rhetoric. I wish it were. I wish we didn't have to consider any of the cuts that are on our cut list that will be considered by our task force today. I know that you're often asked about our budget, sometimes probably at the most inopportune times. Have you ever been stopped in the grocery store? I will sometimes get stopped in the grocery store. And I get great feedback in the grocery store as well. I bet you do too, don't you? But when you're asked about our budget, we want to make sure that you're equipped to answer the questions. You are a powerful and influential voice throughout our community. It is also your voice that they trust the very most because of the personal relationships you have with our families. So we will start today with just a few things that you can do to help us in educating our communities about our budget challenges. So we'll approach this with just 3 questions. Where are we today and why with our budget? What does this mean for your school? Because that's really what's most important to our community and our parents, right? How does this affect my child's school? And what can you do? And don't worry, this is not going to be a budget workshop. We will have plenty of opportunity to discuss budget over the coming months. But there are a few key points that may be helpful for you to know today, and we have prepared for you a bookmark that reflects some of this important information. So you may have noted in your program today that at the back, there's a little card that you can tear out. Okay? And I'm gonna fold mine and put it in my wallet, so when I get stopped at the grocery store, I have a visual cue to do a little teach piece in the grocery store by the produce section. So I'd encourage you to tear that out and carry it with you. So where are we today and why? You know, we are often asked, how could we possibly have financial challenges when our transfer from the county has been increased in the last few years? It is because the context is very important. You will note on the back side of your bookmark that we are annually experiencing significant and required cost drivers that far exceed the increases that we've been receiving from the county. That's without even making any changes to our system. That's without the compensation increases. So if you'll note, just look on your card, you'll see enrollment growth, retirement rate increases, and health rate increases. If you add those up and compare them to the transfer increase that year, and you'll see right away what the challenge is. It's pretty basic math, isn't it? So what does this mean for your school, and what can you do? You know that as much as we've tried to protect our schools from cuts in the recent past, you have felt the reductions. We've raised class size 3 times to balance the budget. But after cutting almost $500 million from our operating budget since 2008, we are no longer in a position to protect our schools and our student programming. And yes, if we're going to talk about again raising class sizes or cutting academic programming, we have to talk about athletics, right? We hate talking about all of this. I'd also ask you to please pay attention to the menu of cuts that are currently under consideration by the Budget Task Force. And that list is out there on our website. I encourage you to discuss with your stakeholders how any one of those could impact your school. For example, what would happen at your school if we raised class size ratios by 1 student? You can articulate that to your community. Or what would happen if we reduced needs-based staffing to your school? What would that look like for your school? Because when we talk about it at the district level, it's just too big for people to comprehend. But if you can talk about how it affects your school community, in your school, in your classrooms, that's what makes the difference. These and many other important items are under consideration on this, and they're all concerning, I will tell you. But I encourage you to tell your story. Take every opportunity you're presented with to provide a real context to what is happening in our great school system. And call upon us if you need our help. We will continue in the coming months to arm you with other tools that you can use with your faculty, staff, and your PTAs. We've got to take this to our communities and to our schools. Thank you for your attention to this important community conversation that is already beginning in earnest. We need you to lend your voice. I know that our budget challenges and the goals in our strategic plan, Ignite, can feel daunting. Nathan Rothschild stated that great and impactful things most often occur when cannonballs fall in the harbor. Does this sometimes feel like cannonballs are falling in the harbor? He says most of the time the great things happen when those kinds of things are happening, much more than when violins are playing in the ballroom. When faced with difficult challenges, this is when leadership is most essential. The leadership of adaptive, strategic leaders. Individuals who are both resolute and flexible, persistent in the face of setbacks, but are also able to react strategically. Like our speaker, Carrie Lawrence, will share with us all in just a moment, when the obstacles on your mission mount up, fearless leaders dig in, dig deep, and keep working. Yes, I know the challenges we face are daunting, but I believe that we will find a way. The combined strategic and courageous leadership right here in this room, together we will find a way. You will find a way to motivate your teams, encourage your communities, and connect your students. I know you will because you do every day. Every day you're creating and developing our children, our future leaders, our future teachers, our doctors, our inventors, our scientists, our astronauts. You had many, many success stories.
Shell Lindgren on his first voyage into space.
Astronaut Shell Lindgren, a graduate of Robinson, joined the current ISS crew for a 5-month mission where he'll conduct experiments on how life aboard the space station affects the human body. His time in space fulfills a lifelong dream of becoming an astronaut. In 1995, Shell graduated from the Air Force Academy, where he studied biology and served as jump master for the Academy's parachute team. Later, he would receive a master's degree in cardiovascular physiology. Then in 2002, he earned a doctorate of medicine from the University of Colorado. Shell is board certified in emergency and aerospace medicine. As a Robinson Ram, Shell played 3 varsity sports, football, track, and wrestling. He also excelled in school and was a member of several honor societies and was voted most likely to succeed and most intellectual. Shell would graduate as valedictorian of Robinson's class of 1991. Shell Lindgren, FCPS graduate and NASA astronaut.
Congratulations, Robinson Secondary School. Shell Lindgren is right this very moment at on the International Space Station. And I think we're trying to be able to connect with him to use for some lessons for their students. And he's coming home in December. You are daily providing the conditions for our students to find their passions, just like Shell, and to pursue their dreams. These stories, these children, remain our motivation to prevail, don't they? As we start the 2015-2016 school year, I believe in you. I believe in the collective power of the leadership of FCPS, the people in this room. I know that together we will ignite our power to make our Portrait of a Graduate a reality for every single child, to provide a world-class education for each and every student we serve. Thank you for all that you do, day in and day out, in service to our children. I hope you find this special day of learning thought-provoking and inspirational, and I wish you the very, very best in this coming school year. Thank you.